Hi, everyone, and welcome to Student Nurse Mentorship with Kay Shanae. I'm Kay, and I look forward to hearing all of your success stories as you crush your goals of nursing school and go on to become successful nurses. Now, today, I would like to speak with you about setting standards for school. This is a point that can really be applied to any goal that you make for yourself in life. So, let me give you a typical scenario. My daughter, she's 11 years old. When I ask her to clean the kitchen, her standards of cleaning is washing the dishes. Period. That's it. No more, maybe less. Um, if she can get away with it. Now, my standard when I go to clean the kitchen, I wash dishes, I clean out the sink, I clean the counters, I check the refrigerator to see if any food needs to be thrown out, I take the trash out, I sweep, and I mop. See the difference there? Not saying that either way is wrong, because it's all about perception in that point. But say, for instance, that I was trying to sell my house. Which standard of cleaning my kitchen would be considered to give a better impression of the home? Obviously, the second, because that would create a more clean appearance. Now, let's apply this to your life. You're going for an interview. It's your first interview after you've passed boards as a nurse. You're now officially an LPN or a registered nurse. You're both super excited plus super nervous all at the same time. How do you prepare? The best way, you can look up the company's information before you go to the interview, see their mission, their background information, etc., so that you can showcase this while speaking, such as aligning this information to your mission in life and your passions in your career. Employers love this. That's a little hint for you for when you do come out of school or any job interview. Always know the company's mission and vision. Plus, in addition to that, you'll get dressed in your best business attire. Your hair will be pulled back so they can see your face. You'll have extra copies of your resume. Plus, you'll be 15 minutes early to show your punctuality. Because that is the standard you are setting for yourself to show who you are and your commitment if offered this job. You wouldn't show up in jeans, hair not clean, no extra copies of your resume. Side note, don't ever do this for an in-person interview because even though they have your resume on file, it's good to bring extra copies, especially for group interviews. Plus references, cover letter, proof of licenses, your degree, just in case. So it's better to be prepared than not prepared. So yes, you know exactly how to prepare in order for you to set a high standard going into your interview. Nursing school should be the same way. Depending on what kind of nursing program you are in, you will have to be committed for about a year to possibly 6 years until you obtain your degree. This is a long time to put in your effort into something and possibly be done in vain. I've seen students be fully prepared to take on the challenge of nursing school and students that are not. And I can tell you it shows, especially to the instructors. Something that I always tell my students: when you get a job somewhere, they always have to train you how to do the job first before they can let you work on your own, correct? This is nursing school. We're teaching you how to do your job. Because of that, your schooling in order to become competent is part of your nursing career. So if you treat school like it is your career, you will set a much higher standard for yourself in being proactive in your studies and not reactive. So let me give you some tips on how to set a high standard for yourself in school. I have 3 of them for you today. Number 1, nursing is about punctuality. After you've been working the floor for 12 hours at a hospital, you are tired, you're ready to go home. Nurses need to be reliable and be on time. And I can tell you from experience in school and plus also teaching, this will start in nursing school. You are held at a higher standard of being on time than in general college courses. You cannot just show up to class. You can also not just walk into class at any time you like. Especially when you go to clinical, you're basically working a shift at the hospital, nursing home, home health, wherever you're assigned to. In that facility, they expect you to be there at a certain time. So if anything, be early, especially if it is your first day at school or clinical and you're not sure where to go, be even earlier. I have even had students drive to our clinical sites the evening before we were to start clinical, so that way they knew where to go the day of, because they know how important it is to be on time. You being late will set your whole group back. Now you're not only impacting your education, but also others around you. So don't be that selfish person that cannot be punctual. My next point, communication. As a nurse, you have to be able to step in and call the doctor sometimes, even going against orders, if you know that they are unsafe for your patients. Also, keeping open communication with your patients, co-workers, family members, even the crazy ones that come sit at the nurse's station when they're waiting for you to come answer their mom's call light. This happens. As a nurse, you have to be able to communicate. And the good part about this is it has to be open communication, not closed. And this has to be able to be done with not only your peers in school, but also your professors. I will not lie to you. Nursing is not easy. There will be times that you need help and your classmates may not be able to fill that void for you. You need to be able to go talk to your instructors, especially if your grades start to fall, and not at the end of the semester when you're borderline about to pass or fail. But as soon as you notice trouble, as soon as you don't do good on that one test, you need to be in their office. This is adult learning. This is not K-12. You need to take responsibility of learning the content. Your instructors will always be there to help, but we cannot hold your hand. So you need to step up and come to us and communicate. Also, if you're going to be late, if you're going to be absent, if you're unprepared in any way, let your instructors know. We understand that life happens sometimes. It happens to us too. Your homework gets left at home, your car breaks down, and you forget your book in the car. Okay. But we cannot help you if you come to us a week later with whatever the problem is. We will always respect you by giving you the details and having open communication with you. So please do the same for your instructors also. If possible, let us know ahead of time. Like I said previously, always be proactive, not reactive. Before we go into our last point, let me tell you this, that there are so many more standards that we can go into for setting your standards in the classroom. Many of them we will be discussing in upcoming podcasts, but really this list is almost never ending. So that's why I did choose the top 3. But before we do get into that third one, let me just list off some more that you can kind of think about and dwell about as you do start school and get into those habits that do set your standards. So, study habits. Don't wait until the night before a test to sit down and read your chapters. Following general class rules, for example, this can be dress code, having food or drinks in the classroom. Also, keeping a calendar of to-do activities to keep yourself organized throughout the week. Nursing is time-consuming, and if you do not write down everything that needs to be done, a day possibly and most likely will come where you forget something that is important. Also, staying current with campus affairs. And also making small goals for yourself while in school so that it just doesn't seem like a never-ending battle. I would do this with every single quarter or semester, depending on which program I was in. So that way I wasn't just looking strictly at graduation. And it does make it seem so much more reachable when you make small goals. So going into our last big point before we finish up for today. The last one that I want to go into a little more detail about is how you learn. This is a large standard because most of us are taught in the traditional classroom that you go over a chapter or a unit, you take a test, and you move on. Nursing is not like this. Nursing builds upon itself. So whatever you learn the first day in your foundations class will still be relevant and possibly tested upon when you graduate. You have to make the decision not to learn to memorize in nursing school. You must learn to retain, and you must learn to apply to real life. Please remember that people's lives are going to be in your hands. You're not an accountant sitting at a desk or an interior designer where you can paint over a mistake that you make. Someone could get hurt if you're not in the mindset of this information I'm learning is important. I need to take time to learn so that I can be effective one day. So let me not cram for this test the night before just so I can get a 75% to pass the class. Let me sit down before lecture, go through the chapters, so that way I can start retaining this information long before the test even gets here. That is how you need to think of nursing. So let me challenge you this. Whether you are in school, about to start school, thinking about starting school, or going into a new challenge in life, set a high standard for yourself. You set a high standard for the type of person that you date or marry, correct? Do the same for you. Set the standard to see yourself as the person that you strive to be. Create criteria that you will do every day in order to meet those objectives. And once they're met, create higher ones. You will see you become more disciplined, more professional, more effective in life. Now, before we go, if you are interested in private mentorship, I also offer one-on-one services that are tailor-made to fit your life and current situations. We will make a blueprint mapping out the best strategies to ensure that you are successful in school and able to maintain your home life while in school. You can message me on Student Nurse Mentorship with Kay Shanae on Facebook or on Instagram. So today, I'm going to leave you with this quote. I pray that this discussion was helpful, and until next time, I'll see you all on social media. Learners who do only the minimum necessary to pass tests may think that they are learning, but in reality, they are not likely to have acquired the long-term knowledge necessary to perform on the job. Learners who study to understand and always search out the why of the subject increase their chances of becoming highly competent healthcare professionals who can think on their feet and meet new challenges as they arise. See you guys later.